If you just stop, take a moment before you make any decisions and weigh that decision. Am I making this decision based on what's best for my life, or am I making this decision on what's best for everybody around me? Welcome back to Off the Dome with Coach Ash. I'm Ashley Major, a faith-based identity coach, and today we are going to pick our topic, and it is recognizing when fear is making your decisions. All right, so I love this topic because a lot of times we are making decisions from emotions. And when we're making decisions from emotions rather than logic or rather than obedience to God, then we get to stop and we get to sit with that. For example, when I decided to walk away from my marriage, I did that in obedience to God, right? And a lot of people may think, well, God is not going to tell you to leave your marriage. Some situations he do tell you walk away from. And this is why you have to have a personal relationship with him, okay? But I knew I needed to leave long before I actually left. And I stayed because, one, I didn't want to be someone who had a failed marriage, right? I didn't want to be another statistic, a divorcee. I never saw myself divorced. I stayed because I feared judgment from other people, what people would think, oh, she is, she's doing all these things and her marriage isn't working. But I stayed because of fear. But I had to sit with that and I had to realize, like, okay, Ash, why are you sitting in something that is no longer working? That is no longer, there's no clear path through. Another example of living in fear is just constantly people pleasing, right? Making decisions based on what other people would think. So you find that when you are making hasty decisions, emotional decisions, that these decisions are not rooted in logic. They're not rooted in, okay, am I being obedient to God? They're rooted in, I'm afraid of what the consequences may be, and I don't want to face those consequences, so I need to make a decision to just keep everything at peace. And what tends to happen is you lose yourself. When you make a decision, and you find that everybody else is happy about the decision except you, then you've made a decision out of fear of what everybody else would think. And it doesn't sit right with you. And you'll sit with that and be like, boy, maybe I shouldn't make that. And you'll seesaw back and forth the decision that you already made. But if you just stop, take a moment before you make any decisions and weigh that decision. Am I making this decision based on what's best for my life? Or am I making this decision on what's best for everybody around me? Am I making this decision because I'm afraid of what people may think, or I'm afraid of ridicule or judgment or disappointing? And so we got to sit with it. We got to sit with it. We got to dissect it. We got to unpack it. And we got to face the music no matter what the consequences is. Okay? Because at the end of the day, if we are people that are walking with God or seeking God, then we got to make sure that every decision that we make is laid before Him. Y'all, I don't make any decision without bringing it before God. Sometimes I get hasty and I have to pull it back and be like, hold on. I know I said that, but give me a few days. Prime example, I had an event that I wanted to go to this week. And I was getting ready to go book that ticket, and I was making these phone calls to try to say, well, oh yeah, you're making the right decision. And I was like, hold on, Ash, like why are you so hyped up to go to this event? Rather, do I think it would benefit me? Do I think, yeah, I think it would. However, is it the right financial decision right now? What am I making this decision based on? And I had to stop with that. And I'm like, okay, Lord, you got to show me, you got to let me know if this event is what you want me to go to, or am I doing this in my own flesh? And let me know by Saturday. This is what I said. And by Saturday, I had my answer. By Saturday, I had my answer. And some of you may want to know if I'm going to the event. Come back tomorrow to find out. Well, that is it for today. I hope you got value. Drop a comment. Let me know, and I'll see you back here for day 5. Y'all, we're already on day 4. Day 5 of Off the Dome with Coach Ash. Ta-ta.